You remember the moments when you were with her. The way she smiled just a little longer when she was around you, how she leaned in a little closer as if the space between you wasn't enough, how her eyes lingered on you as though she wanted to capture you in her memory forever. You felt it. You knew she cared. But now, that same woman who once seemed so invested, so present, so connected, is suddenly silent. She's distant. She doesn't text back the same way. She doesn't lean in like she used to. And your mind immediately goes to the worst place. She must be losing interest. Maybe she doesn't care anymore. Maybe someone else has her attention. But deep down, something inside you knows that it's not that simple. Your gut screams something different. Because what if her silence isn't rejection? What if her distance isn't punishment? What if it's a test, a signal, a way to measure the strength of the man she thought you were? This is the moment that makes or breaks most men. Right now, your reaction will either destroy her attraction or make it unshakable. And that's why I want you to anchor this mindset into your soul. Comment below, I rise, not chase. Because the man who rises is the one who wins. The man who chases is the one who loses. This video is for the men who've ever asked themselves, why is she ignoring me if she said she cared? It's for the man staring at his phone, fighting the urge to text again, replaying every word, every interaction, wondering what went wrong. You're about to learn the truth of why women pull away even when they love you, and what you must do, not to manipulate her, but to master yourself, your presence, and your attraction. And if this message hits deep, support it, not for me, but for the next man out there, sitting in that same silence, questioning his worth, when in reality, he's standing in the middle of a test. Here's what you need to understand. A woman feels you even when she's silent. While you're obsessing over her lack of response, overanalyzing her distance, replaying every moment like a movie stuck on repeat, she's not disconnected, she's observing. She's sensing. She's feeling. You think she's gone cold, but her silence is saying more than her words ever could. Women don't just randomly pull away. They feel everything, your energy shifting, your insecurity growing, your neediness seeping through your words. And when she senses that change, when she feels that you've started relying on her validation to feel strong, her instinct is to step back. Not to hurt you. Not to manipulate you. But to test you. And this is the exact place where most men fail. They panic. They text more. They call more. They overcompensate, posting online, trying to get her attention, trying to prove they are still valuable. But every single action driven by fear does the opposite. It proves to her that the man she thought you were was just an act. She's not ignoring you because she hates you. She's checking if the strength she saw in you was real or just performance. She wants to know if you'll crumble when she retreats. She wants to feel if your energy remains steady when hers withdraws. This moment of silence isn't empty, it's the battlefield of attraction. And the man who survives that battlefield isn't the one who fights desperately for her attention. It's the man who doesn't need it. She feels when you're grounded. She feels when you're calm, unbothered, centered. And she feels, more than anything, when you're chasing, begging, or trying too hard to keep her close out of fear. Understand this, attraction isn't built in comfort. It's built in tension, in the unknown, in her testing if you can hold steady when she doesn't. So, what do you do when she pulls away? You don't chase. You don't panic. You don't replay every conversation in your head. Instead, you build yourself. You hit the gym harder. You refine your schedule. You master your time. You double down on your mission. Because women are not drawn to your words. They are drawn to your gravity, your pull. The quieter you become, the louder your presence speaks. When she withdraws, you let her. When she ignores you, you hold the line. When she doesn't validate you, you validate yourself. The second she sees your peace doesn't depend on her, her curiosity reignites. That's how nature works. What runs away becomes desirable. What clings becomes repelling. Every time you stand still when she moves, you become the man she thought you were at the beginning. The man who had purpose beyond her, the man who had peace even in chaos, the man who didn't need her love to love himself. You must be the wall, not the wind. While she's pulling away, watching from a distance, what she's really measuring is not your effort, not your words, not how much you try, it's your stability. If she sends short replies and you overreact to get her attention, you fail. If she gets distant and you flood her with validation, you fail. If she tests your boundaries and you backpedal just to keep her, you fail. Not because she wants to destroy you, but because she needs to know what you're made of when she retreats. A man who needs her attention to feel valuable is not a man she can trust her emotions with. A man who loses composure when she withdraws is not a man she feels safe with. She needs to see that when the storm hits, your feet stay grounded. That when she spirals, you stand tall. That when she tests, you don't flinch. Being the wall doesn't mean being cold. It means being composed. Not robotic, but rooted. Not emotionless, but unshakable. When she says she needs space, she's not asking for a reaction, she's watching for one. Do you beg and crumble? Or do you respect the space and keep walking your path? That's what she wants to feel. Because emotional self-control is power. The ability to pause before reacting, to breathe instead of panicking, to observe instead of obsessing. That's what separates boys from men. That's what makes her feel safe, not comfort safe, but soul safe. Her chaos needs your calm. Her emotions may come in waves, loud, overwhelming, unfiltered. Your role is not to become another storm. Your role is to become the anchor. Her chaos doesn't need correction. It doesn't need fixing. It needs containment. Not through force, not through control, but through presence. Stop trying to fix every mood. Stop treating her silence as a personal attack. The moment she senses her emotions can dismantle you, she loses trust, not in her feelings for you, but in your ability to lead. Real strength isn't shouting. Real strength is restraint. Real strength is knowing when not to text, when not to over-explain, when not to panic. She doesn't want a man who reacts. She wants a man who absorbs, who stays still when she storms, who doesn't make her chaos about him. That's leadership. And sometimes, you must let her walk. Not because you don't care, but because you care about yourself enough not to chase anyone who's pulling away. If she says she needs time, give it. If she withdraws, respect it. Hold your ground. Because if what you had was real, she won't forget it. She may run from it. She may test it. But she'll feel it in your absence. That's the paradox. Your absence with dignity is louder than any words you could say. While other men suffocate her with attention, you rise in silence. You sharpen yourself. You build your mission. You become irreplaceable not by holding her, but by building a life so powerful that she regrets ever leaving it. And when she runs, you stand still. Most men panic at this point. They think distance is a call to action. But it's not. It's a call to pause. When she runs, she doesn't want to be chased. She wants to see if you stay grounded. Stillness is rare. Stillness is magnetic. When she looks back and sees you unmoved, unshaken, unbothered, that's when her curiosity returns. That's when she starts questioning herself. Because women are used to men folding, begging, chasing. When you don't, you break the cycle she's used to. And that's when attraction flips in your favor. Ultimately, you must become the man she can't shake. She's testing if your foundation is firm or fragile. And the men who fail are always the ones who panic, negotiate, beg for her attention. But the man who holds steady becomes unforgettable. She can't shake a man who doesn't collapse when ignored. She can't forget a man who doesn't panic when she goes silent. She can't walk away from a man who rises higher in her absence. Because that man proves his worth wasn't built on her attention, it was built in his solitude. She will ignore you even if she loves you. Not because she wants to hurt you, but because she needs to know your strength isn't skin deep. Because real love, real trust, real surrender, it doesn't form in comfort. It forms in the fire of uncertainty. Her silence isn't abandonment. It's assessment. She's watching to see if you fold, or if you rise. And if you pass, she'll give you her devotion. If you fail, she'll walk, not because she never cared, but because you proved you weren't the man she thought you were. So ask yourself, are you the man who crumbles in silence, or the man who builds himself in it? Are you the man who chases when she runs, or the man who stands still and lets her return on her own? Comment below, I build myself in the silence. Because that's what separates you from the rest. When others fall,